Morning traders, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So we got the move to the upside. I said yesterday the trend is up at the moment, and that's pretty much what we got. It's looking a little tired at the moment. We are quite far from the alligator. I'd like to see us pull back to the alligator, and it's another opportunity to buy. The pullback is pretty much going to be to test the breakouts. Now, this is the area that I'd be interested in. Okay, we could drop a little bit further. It's also possible to come and test this area, but that still leaves us with an upward trend line. We've got a fairly big gap as well. Okay, so that's just something to watch. If we look at what's transpiring at the moment, we are in a bit of a channel, and as I often say, the DAX loves channels, and that's pretty much what we are trading at the moment. We're in a fairly strong upward trend, and it's in a channel. So I'd like to see some sort of a pullback, just to come and test the breakouts, and then there's an opportunity for a long. And the nice thing about this structure is your stops are around 50 points. So that's really pretty cool, because you can put in a half decent trade with a relatively close stop loss. You're not looking for 300-400 point stop losses. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at the moment. We do have a breakout, and I said yesterday we could be forming an inverse head and shoulders. And this is a distinct possibility. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and now a break of that shoulder. Okay, some people like to draw the neckline at an angle. I'm not that fan. I prefer to have the breakout of the shoulder. And there's my shoulder. That's my breakout. I'd like to see a retest. And then what I'm looking for is pretty much a measured move to the upside of something like this. And just go to a higher time frame, and you'll see that in itself is a break above that previous high there. And if we go to a weekly, you'll see we hit another level right at the top here, which is the previous high. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. And if you look at the weekly, you can see inside bar engulfing, but we're starting off with another green bar. So the trick here is if we get a break of that trend line. So if we come to the daily, you'll see there's a trend line there. Let's move it across, because the lower time frames are going to line up a little bit differently. Okay, so there's my trend line. And as you look at that, you can see an even bigger head and shoulders. Okay, so in other words, my neckline is pretty much there. So neckline is 12,501. Now the interesting thing about that is this is pretty big. Okay, so just coming back to what we can do today, I think what we're looking for is a long, but we are definitely looking at 12,460 as an area to get out of this trade. Okay, I do suspect sellers step in there, drive the market down pretty hard, and then it depends whether the buyers step in and you see some price action that's going to drive the price to the upside. So trade at the moment is very small, 35 points. Let's see what's happening on the futures market. The DAX is up 0.28% at the moment. And the rest of the markets are, well, the US futures is up, and the US closed up yesterday as well. Okay, pretty much a tough call, but I'd like to see a pullback. I'm not really interested in chasing this right now. So if you are still long, definitely merit in keeping the long. The only problem that I do have is that our closest stop area is down here, and that is let's just level in. That's our stop area, which is 12,365. I'll come down to the 12. You can see we have not quite broken that stop, but we are flirting with it. And then look, we are below the alligator. Okay, so I do expect us to have a pullback. The big question is, if we can come back down to this area here, you can see there's quite a bit of interest here. If I just put a kind of a zone in there, that would be an area of interest for me, definitely. To see price come back into this area and pick up one of these levels. And let's just look at the hour to make sure that there isn't something there. Oh, there is actually. There it is there. So there's our previous fractal. Okay, that's our inside bar fractal. That's where price has gone past. In other words, price has broken through that level. It came back, and now we've broken, tried to test it, and broken again. That's a fairly strong area to look at, and there's another area there. And then we also have a little Brooks gap here, which is right in this area as well. Okay, so with all of that in mind, let's just look at the 12 minutes. I'm looking for a bit of a pullback. I'm not really interested in chasing the pullback. Wait for the pullback. It should come back into this area. Either pick up these fractals here. I do think that this area here is a fairly decent one, 12,397. Okay, and that gives me a stop area of 12,363. Okay, and that would be another opportunity for me to get long. For a stop on this trade, because we've got a gap down below here, I think I'll rather go with a smallish trade and then just increase my stop. So if we do get to this area, I'll look at a 110 point stop loss, just come below this low here of 12,301. Okay, so that's kind of my view today. Still looking for longs, but I am looking at a bit of a pullback. And on the hour or the half hour, that pullback is not going to be that, how to put it, it's not going to break the bank as such. So let it happen. Trend will still be up and get back in on it. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of my view at the moment. Hope that helps. It's looking for the pullbacks and then looking to buy. I do think that the Dax is starting to sort of pick a direction again, and it's fairly strong at the moment. We do want to see a pullback. Last thing before I go, ichimoku, you can see we've broken through the cloud here. We've had a crossover. Okay, so any pullback, and on ichimoku 4 hour, you're looking at a pullback back to this level here, which is 12,375. Okay, so that's kind of what we've got to wait for, is wait for a half decent pullback and then get in on this trade. Okay, Keys and Dickinson still flat on the daily, so I suspect in the long term we're probably still going to be bouncing around here for a little bit while we build structure, and then you're looking for the breakout. Okay, so anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.